That's so the attendees, what you're able to do is you're going to be able to interact with each other one-on-one inside of the virtual lounge. And Sarah's going to be putting the information in the chat for you. You can also ask questions there that we will present to the panelists. We're going to start off with a little bit of a round robin around the room so everyone can introduce themselves. We're going to unmute you right now. Great. Let's start up in with Brody, and then we're going to go. Hold on 1 minute. Do we have everything ready to go? Okay, so welcome everyone. Now this is a 3 martini lunch. That means if you do want to have an adult beverage during this, you're absolutely welcome to. Last time I did have an adult beverage. It was a little too much because I don't drink them too frequently. But I have a grapefruit Pellegrino, so sort of like a mock cocktail going on. Also, first off, I want to ask, are all the panelists wearing pants? You not wearing pants.
We have to answer.
Yes.
If you're not wearing pants, you want to make sure you do not stand up in front of the camera until you put pants back on or you turn off your camera. Is that understood? That's one of the rules. Now, for all of you attendees, and it looks like there's 88 attendees in the room right now, please feel free to ask questions. We're going to provide you with information, but you're also going to be able to go into the HIO virtual lounge and do one-on-one video conferencing with one another. You'll be able to share your Facebook information. You'll be able to share your LinkedIn, any files you might have with the rest of the groups. Does one of the panelists have the TV or the radio on in the background? If you do, please turn it off. And we're going to get going with the introductions. Welcome all the people that are attendees. Please start interacting with one another in the HIO lounge. Cher's going to drop a link in there for you. Hey, let's start with Brody. If you could introduce yourself, tell us what part of the country you're in, what you do, what expertise you're bringing to the table here today.
Hey there. Well, I'm Brody Smith. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm wearing pajama pants. Fully transparent, which is why I called my podcast the Brody Pajama Podcast, because unless you're doing a video podcast, you can wear whatever you want. So, but anyway, I am a host, producer, and podcast consultant, audio, video, live recorded with a video production background, having had worked in broadcast news, corporate video, and for the better part of 15 plus years in radio broadcasting, producing as well. So I'm currently working with Curtis Media, a local radio company here in the Triangle, on a part-time basis and looking to work with individuals as well as small businesses that are looking to start an audio or a video podcast.
That's great, guys. When just recognize I am wearing pants because I have kids working from home. So I am wearing pants. I'm not guaranteeing that they've been ironed or look clean or anything. But as we're going around, let's go through real quickly so we can jump into conversation. Mr. Lucas, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, thanks. I'm Keith Lucas. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm not wearing any pants. Details at 11 tonight.
Excellent.
Anyway, for those of you that may be, I may be showing my age a little bit, but anyway, I'm the broker owner of the Charleston Real Estate Company, and I've broken now 20 years, been networking and doing a lot of video one-on-one chats, supporting our sphere of influence, both past, present, and future, especially during this time through videos and one-on-one video chats. So that's pretty much what we're doing.
Thank you. Mr. Wittenstein.
Hello, everybody. Aaron Wittenstein. I'm a real estate agent in Westchester County, New York, and homeschooling father. We're in the epicenter of all the insanity going on right now. So, yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm be talking about is I've been completely shut down. I'm a non-essential business, and I'm going to help people that are, I'm going to show you guys how you can actually continue getting work done while the insanity is in place. So. In place.
Yeah, that Wittenstein. It reminds me. You guys remember the Mel Brooks Frankenstein? You guys ever see that movie Frankenstein? Frankenstein? Yeah, I'm dating everyone in here. You're all old. You're all old. Okay, Diane, let's get your introduction.
On that note, yes, I'm old.
I am in Orlando, Florida. I am the Winter Garden rock star that is obviously not happening this month or next month, but it has been wonderful. I get 100 to 120 minimum of people coming. What I do is I call myself a contractress. I work for a contractor and we do everything and anything. We do specialize in drywall, wallpaper removal, popcorn removal, but we have now gotten our general, so we're GCs, and we do a lot of kitchen and bath remodels. So I love introductions to realtors, restoration companies, and just we're still considered an essential business because there are people with drywall damage or roof leaks and, a gaping hole in their ceiling. So we could come, we still are considered essential.
Terrific. Thank you. Diane, we're going to ask you some questions about how this is impacting your industry. Joe Navarro from Raleigh, North Carolina. Please tell me about your expertise in networking, and you're going to do a little bit of the moderation today and asking some of the questions. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, hey everybody. My last name is Joe Navarra with an A at the end, but that's okay. And yeah, it's great to be here and see you all again. Yeah, I am. What I do is I teach people about relationship marketing, and I do it through speaking, coaching, and I have 2 books on the subject. I like to do events that teach people just how to grow their business, grow their network, and increase revenue. I have an event coming up next week. It's going to be a 2-part workshop called the LinkedIn Networking Success Course. And that's, I'm just all about teaching people how to network and grow relationships. So thank you, Stephen. I really appreciate being here again.
Hey, thank you for being back. For those of you who are attendees and are not aware of what Rockstar Connect is, we're one of the largest business networking event companies in the world. We did over 811 events last year. Many of our hosts are experts in their field, and they're definitely expert connectors, and they're participating in this call. If someone does have their radio on or TV in the background, please turn it off or mute yourself. Miss Lawrence, would you like to introduce yourself? You're new to me.
Yes, definitely. Hello, everyone. My business partner, Richard Watts, we work together. I am a CPA, Certified Public Accountant, and a cannabis consultant. And at this point in time, I'm on the panel. I just want to share some information about the new tax guidelines, what's coming up, how it impacts individuals and businesses alike, as well as talk about the stimulus package, what's going on with that.
I'm sure everyone's going to have a lot of questions regarding that. Mr. Pierce in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Hey, I'm Andrew Pierce, the gourmet agent out of Wilmington. Been with Rockstar for about 2 years, and I show homes and give virtual home tours through 360 video.
Thank you very much. Mr. Riddell. David Riddell. We'll come back to him. Hey, Ray Fuentes, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great, good. If you could talk a little bit about yourself, you're giving some courses and helping people in California.
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Ray Fuentes. I'm the Red Shoe Broker here in the Sacramento area. In addition to real estate, I am a host for the Roseville Rockstar Connect. So I have a list of about 200 people that are either business owners or sales people. And what I'm doing to help them is creating Zoom meetings, just one-on-one introductions that share a little bit about what they're doing, what their business is like, and they can have that information and send it to their clients, either new clients or existing clients.
Very good. Robert?
Yeah, I'm Robert Newman with Texas Funding and Consulting. We're a commercial loan brokerage services, and today we'll just be discussing on how the virus is affecting the loan industry and what the SBA loans are about.
Very good. One of our favorite hosts from California, Tammy Condi.
I thought I would get in the martini mood, and it's not a real martini, but I got the martini glass. Cheers, everybody. So I am a realtor in the Roseville, Sacramento, California region, and I've been doing the Rockstar Connect events for almost a year now, and I'm really learning how to do Zoom and trying to teach other people how to use the Zoom calls to connect and socialize, and also doing videos. Oh, I started doing the videos one-on-one with some of my other Rockstar Connect members, and now is even a good time to do that, where we could teach other people how to do it and then post it on our YouTube channel. And if we both do that for each other, we can help grow each other's business.
It's all about, normally our events, are we getting a little reverb? And normally our events are primarily local focused, but now we have a real opportunity to reach people all over the country. This evening, we have 6 events on the HIO app and on Eventbrite. We're combining all those events together, so you'll be able to interact with people from all over the coast. Marbeth Dunn down in Fort Lauderdale, if you could give us a brief definition of what you do so we can jump into the meat of the conversation.
Well, thank you, Steve. I'm Marbeth Dunn, and I'm an award-winning meditation leader and mindfulness instructor. And basically, I lead a podcast every Sunday called Meditation and Conversation, where I have a panel, and it's based on different songs. So this past week, we had Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow, great panel. And we have one coming up this next Sunday in my World Miracle Peace Experiment group on Facebook. And you can go there live at 5, and it's Eastern time. And I hope you'll join us.
Very
Staying positive.
good. Thank you, Marbeth. Richard, do you want to introduce yourself, or do we lose you there?
No, I'm here, but for some reason, okay, there we go. No, we're here. I'm with 1776 Tax Prep. We're headquartered down in Naples, Florida. Shamir just introduced herself a couple minutes ago. And we of course, are right in the middle of the tax debacle here. And one of the things that we can do for people is help engineer them through the stimulus payment situation. And anyway, so when it comes for my time to speak, we've actually prepared a little primer for people to help them clarify.
I don't know if that's the format of this conversation, whether we're going to be doing a presentation, Richard, but I'll let you know if we have time for that. Maureen,
Okay.
if you can introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm a mystic and an Akashic Records Guides founder. I live in New York City, the bigger epicenter right now. I'm in very good health, and I'm just confirming that there's no coronavirus at our house. And I teach awareness tools globally, resulting in empowerment and transformation. I teach all over the world, and I have been heavily impacted by this situation because I have had 6 trips, global trips: China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, and a few places in the States where I would teach, and it's about at 100K. So I'm real excited to hear what we're going to learn, and also to share the tools that I have used over the years to develop my global presence and to assist people in understanding that there's more tools out there than maybe the hardcore stuff. There's tools that a mystic can bring to the table too.
Thank you very much, Maureen. For those attendees that are there, if you have questions for any of these panelists, please start putting them in the chat. In addition to that, Sarah's dropping in the link for you so that you are able to participate with one another one-on-one in the virtual lounge. Just in case we're boring you here in the panel chat, I'm sure it'll be exciting and interesting, but no bets on that. You attendees can have a great time with one another interacting inside of the lounge. We're going to be dropping in people's contact information of our panelists in the chat room and tell you how you can reach out to them and connect with them as well. Sandra Hollis, welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Raleigh, North Carolina here, real estate agent, broker, just trying to keep a stiff upper lip and keep going. Business is still good, but things are starting to change. So looking forward to hearing all this good information and meeting with all of you.
Excellent. My good friend Warren Sumner.
Sorry about that. Can everybody hear me?
I'm sure you're not wearing pants.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. I never wear pants. So I'm Warren Sumner from Raleigh, North Carolina. I am a real estate agent and appraiser. So I haven't slept in really the past 3 months. It's since they lowered interest rates and now everybody's going to refi. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there in everybody's profession. And that's certainly true in both of mine. But I'm a longtime Rockstar host. I'm currently hosting 2 events, the North Raleigh and the Nightdale. And it's been a blessing for my business. I've been able to meet a number of people who have become referral partners, recruited agents. If you're looking for a great way to get your name out there, the Rockstar events are definitely worth the ticket.
Excellent. Thank you, Warren. For those of you attendees that are in the chat, if you're enjoying the virtual lounge and you want to invite other people, feel free to share the HIO link with them. Tommy Episcopo, last week, I have to tell you, you were one of the most popular speakers, most popular panelists. It looks like a lot of people wanted to speak with you after the call.
That tends to happen. That's what I do for a living.
Well, we appreciate you being back, and I'm sure you're going to be adding a lot to the conversation. Mark Scher down in Miami, Florida.
Hi, I'm Mark Scher, Coral Gables Rockstar. Been involved for 2.5, 3 years now. Tommy and I work together. He's up in Jupiter. I'm down in South Florida, and Tommy's better looking than I am, so that's why he gets more questions.
I don't know. You look pretty good, Mark, to me, but the camera is far away. It's not a close-up. Michael Eric up in New York.
How you doing? Thank you for letting me be part of the panelist. I run a networking group up in the Hudson Valley, New York area with my partner, Javon Dudley. We decided to do this because there's a lot of networking going on, but it wasn't free networking. And the Hudson Valley, Rockstar didn't have anything up there. So we're excited to do that. We only been doing it for about 8 months, just started going pretty good. And then, of course, this happened. So I'm glad you're all safe. I'm glad everybody's figured out the new way of communicating. I kind of prepared for this. I do some other things, and I coach with my coach on Zoom. So all throughout America, all throughout different countries, 27 different countries. So, this is kind of new to, not new to me. It's new to everybody else. So I'm excited to meet everybody and network and grow our network as our net worth.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of people in this panel that probably need to connect with one another directly after the event today, because not only do you have a lot of synchronicity in your business, I think you'd all be really good friends too. Typically, people that are involved with the Rockstar Connect program are excellent at connectors. And if you reach out to one another, you can really help each other's businesses and everyone in your sphere of influence. So I have 2 really good networkers, and I'm going to introduce right now. Let's start with Dominic.
Before you do that, are you able to tell everybody how to join the HIO app?
Yeah, they're actually doing that right now in the attendee chat, which is on the side. We are dropping that in there frequently. So if you just check in your chat, Sarah, you dropping those in there? Yeah, every couple minutes we're dropping in the link to the HIO app, and there's videos there on how to download it and how to be successful with it. Thank you for bringing that up, Tammy. Go ahead, Dominic.
Hi there, I'm Dominic Battistella. I'm in the Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina, and I am the host of the Rockstar Connect RTP Business Networking event. I am also a New York Life financial advisor specializing in working with the technology startup and scaling businesses in the RTP Research Triangle Park area. One of the things that has been interesting since this whole thing has started is clearly businesses are having a lot of trouble. So I've made it one of my missions to understand and be able to communicate with people that I come in contact with information about the new CARE Act and the SBA relief that they have available to them, and help help those business owners get through to the next stage of this economic situation, so that they can survive and continue to pay their employees. In addition to that, a lot of people are concerned about what's going on, whether whether or not their families are going to be taken care of if something happens to them. So we've been coming up with some pretty creative solutions for getting people life insurance if they don't have it, or additional coverage if they're concerned about the short-term situation. So that's been taking up a lot of my time, but we've also been figuring out ways to connect people and provide value to those people in our community that haven't understood how to build their business and survive and thrive in this environment. So spending a lot of time with Sarah and Stephen figuring that out as well.
Hey, Dominic, so if you were to take out a life insurance policy on your spouse right now,
yes,
would it look really suspicious if they passed away in the next week or two?
Only if their brake lines were cut or something like that.
Like, can you pay a higher premium?
Hey, look, I'll be honest with you. My spouse and myself took out additional life insurance coverage during this time. It's only a short-term, year-to-year term policy, but with people, I mean, I'm 42 years old, with people my age and younger passing away, and it happening almost instantaneously, from one day being not having any symptoms to the next day not being able to breathe and not being able to make it to a ventilator. It only makes sense to have the additional coverage for now, and then when you don't need it, you can let it drop off. I mean, and that's something that I've been able to do for a lot of my clients.
When I was speaking to your wife last night, she said when she was holding that pillow over your head,
yeah,
that would protect you from the virus.
Oh, okay, good. Well,
that she had no other reason to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'll let her know you said hello.
Thank you. Scott Rutter, welcome.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, thank you so much, Stephen. I appreciate it. So I'm Scott Rutter. I run 3 Rockstar Connect programs here in North Carolina, one of which I co-host with Warren Sumner. And the Rockstar Connect program has done a ton for me. So it actually took me out of corporate America, where I was a successful financial services professional. And I've now become Raleigh, or North Carolina's favorite insurance agent, both in home and auto insurance. So I'm all about building relationships. And now with this big pandemic that we're all facing, what I'm doing is leveraging a lot of my financial services background and helping, teach workshops on, how people can access money through some of the programs available out there.
And Scott is certainly a rock star. I mean, his LinkedIn is quadrupled or more since he started in the program, and he is well known in North Carolina as a connector, as is Dominic and others that are in this room. Sean Love, we meet for the first time. Welcome. Sean, are you on mute? Let me unmute you. Can she unmute herself? Are you there, Sean? Hi.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. My name's Sean Love. I am the host of the Rockstar event in the Stewart area. I've been doing that for just under a year now. For the last 21 years, I've actually been working in the residential mortgage industry. So I can answer any questions today in regards to what is going on in the mortgage world. The residential industry is in a little bit of a crisis right now. Actually, a lot of people don't realize it. And then a couple of years ago, I had the blessing of meeting Tommy Episcopo, who's also on the panel today as well. And he helped me with a lot of things in regards to my debt. And it was a very interesting and good way for me to kind of like mesh two things together, because in the past, I have always helped people get into their house with the mortgage, but then people are in this debt for another 30 years. And now I work with Tommy in that business as well to be able to show people how to get out of that debt, and then also get out of their credit card debt and the student loan debt and all of that.
Well, that's fantastic. I think now we have met everyone and we can continue the conversation. I have a question I'm going to ask, everyone. This is for attendees. You can answer in the chat. And panelists, if you could raise your hand. How many people here are considered essential workers where they are? Okay, well, that's a good percentage of the people here. And that's not universal. I mean, in our state, in North Carolina, real estate agents are essential. Aaron, are you considered essential in your area?
No, basically, my entire business, other than warm calling, is completely shut down.
So Aaron has a following on just on Facebook alone in one group, just one group, 70,000 real estate agents, insurance professionals, lenders, people connected to real estate. And a lot of those people are not working now. What are they doing? How are you helping them get through this difficult time?
Great question. Okay, so just to give you guys a little bit of a background, I've been in real estate for 18 years. I've been in New York for 6. As you guys probably know, New York is the hardest hit in the entire country. If New York was a state, if New York was a state, if New York was a country, we would be the 5th most infected country in the world right now. Okay. So Cuomo is basically doing all he can to kind of keep people away from one another. I haven't left my house in 15 days. I've got 3 small children here that we're homeschooling as well. So I'm trying to get work done as well as homeschool. Yet, how can I put this? Panelists, raise your hands if you agree with me on this. The most important aspect of our business or any business is lead generation. Would you guys kind of agree with me on that? I'm a cold calling guy. It's what I do. I contact people whose house came off the market. I contact people who are for sale by owners. I am no longer allowed to do that. Okay, no cold call. I know it's annoying, but I'm no longer allowed to cold call, and that's about 50% of my business. So what happens is I need to shift my business to another level. This happened a week ago Sunday, that I get an email from one of my people saying, he sends me a screenshot and says, "You're no longer allowed." I'm like, no, this can't be for Illinois, or this can't be for New York. It's got to be for somewhere else. Then I looked at it. I freaked out. Total meltdown. All right. Just picture a bald man crying. Okay. Because 50% of my business just got taken away. Yet at that point, I realized that I don't have the luxury of sitting down. And then this could go for anybody. Keep in mind, guys, especially real estate agents, there's a good chance this stuff is going to happen to you. All right. There's a good chance you may become non-essential. People that are essential may become non-essential. We have no clue what's going to happen, but you have to prep yourselves properly. I shifted my business to contacting my past clients. I'm knee deep in lead follow-up right now. I'm taking advantage of the networking opportunities, that I have within regards to, weekly networking groups. I'm also creating some new programs, some new systems, to get that, make that happen. So if you guys do one thing right now, look at your business, see where your money's coming from, and figure out, what do I need to do if S hits the fan? Because, mortgage brokers, they could be shut down. I don't know. Appraisers in my area, you're not allowed to work anymore. I can't even go to a final walkthrough. I can't go to a closing. If I go do a showing and someone finds me, I could lose my real estate license. So this could happen to anybody with any business. And all that I'm saying is protect yourself. Knock on wood, this only lasts for like another 3 days or something, but I'm locked down until April 30th. I'm not leaving my house for another month. Just protect yourself, disaster protect your business, because none of us can afford to lose anything right now. So
good. Are you recording these calls you're making to people in your sphere so the people in your group can see it, with their permission?
I put this, I go live, I do live lead gen, I do live Facebook phone calls to like expires and for sale by owners. Personally, I know these people very well, and we may get an intimate conversation, not intimate conversation, you know what I mean? Like, more stuff than I want to share with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not doing that anymore. What I'm actually doing is I'm giving a lot back right now. So I'm taking people that cold call expires or need help with them, and I'm allowing them to go live into the group while I give them feedback. About 3 times a day, I'm posting into the group who needs help right now, and I will get on phone calls with people. I'm starting a group coaching program that's going to cost next to nothing. So if any realtors are interested in that, feel free to message me direct. I'm not trying to sell. I should have said that. I'm not trying to sell anything. But it's just being aware of what you have and what you need going forward.
Fantastic. That's some great advice. Now, do check out Aaron's Facebook page. There's a lot of valuable information there that's for everyone that's associated to real estate. And guess what? We're all associated with real estate, regardless of what profession we're in. Yes, Aaron.
One more thing. So we've known each other for like 3.5 years. I think I'm one of the first 10 or something. Maybe I'm wrong. But you know what you're doing is really, really awesome. And for all people that are here, just continue doing what you're doing, because there's a lot of success, through this thing, building your networks. And anybody who doesn't know about it, at least message him, just to find out some more information, because once the world goes back to normal, it's a question of, it's going to become a more relationship-based business where you need to know as many people as you can. And that's why I think we see success from so many of us here. Right, guys?
I agree. I mean, we're all very connected, especially the Rockstar Connect hosts. We were going to be doing virtual 3 months from now, and we ended up pushing it much forward with imperfections because it was necessary. But I will say that Rockstar Connect and my team, we are the best in the world at posting events, not only virtual face-to-face events, but also virtual events. And we do have a service available where we can post and promote your events and help you with all the technology. Sarah's going to drop our website where you can make an appointment to learn about that service. It's priced very inexpensively because we know everybody right now financially is hurting greatly. Joe, you had your finger up. I know you had something to comment on from what Aaron was saying.
Well, yeah, I just agree with Aaron 100%. Where, I've always said that we needed to get out of that transactional mindset and get more into the relationship mindset. And right now, more than ever, we need to focus on building relationships. Right now is not the time to be focused just strictly on the transaction. Although I do still believe we all have to make money. Somebody said it here. We have families at home. We have, bills to pay. We still have to focus on making a living. But we also need to consider to focus on developing relationships deeper than we have before.
Yeah. Also, Joe, a lot of us have skill sets and knowledge that although people may not be able to implement it now in their business, we're going to come out of this on the other side. It's a good time to learn the skills. And frequently people will ask to pick my brain, and I always make it available for free. But that being said, now's the time to think about what specialized knowledge that you have, and can you sell that knowledge to make an income? Can you turn around and be, a real estate coach or a financial coach, etc.? And some of the people here in this group, they have programs that are very well regarded. They're on the pricier side. They typically deal with CEOs and very high level people. They're offering programs, that may not have been available to you in the past at a very reasonable price because they want to serve their community. And Marbeth, I'm sure that you have something that you can add to that conversation. Marbeth's company, deals with some of the biggest CEOs in the country. What are you offering to the common person, the attendees here now, in order for them to improve their business?
Well, actually, I think you may have me confused. I don't work with the biggest ones in the country, but I do offer.
I know Harrison does.
Harrison does, but he's not here.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected, everyone.
But I do offer, the opportunity to stay more peaceful and mindful and to release any fears that you're having, because this can be a very scary time.
100%. And Maureen, I'd like to jump to you on this, because I know this is something that you're passionate about as well. And you're friends with Marbeth, correct?
Indeed.
Yes.
What I did right away, and my business coach called me and said, you need to do this. And the next day I had it up and running. And I've been using Zoom for years, teaching coursework online. So I was quite familiar with it. So we offered a number of trainings on manifestation and how to create outcomes for people. And we also ran a class on certain kinds of meditation. And we tried to scale up with Zoom, and they were so overloaded that even though we paid them the extra money for webinar, we didn't have access to it until later this week. So we're going to be doing that again and offering more training for people. And I have a very unique skill set because I've manifested a 3-book deal with a major publisher. I teach people these skills, and they're based on mathematics. They're not just based on, airy fairy stuff or anything like that. They're based on solid numbers that people can see and understand the science. And that's what makes it so appealing to people, because they can say, okay, I get the math, I get the science. I don't have to doubt it anymore. All I have to do is show up and do it.
That's fantastic. I'm gonna jump over to Mark Scher. So Mark, you're more of a business-oriented numbers person, but you create a very good picture for people. What can you bring to the attendees here to make them feel better about their situation, and what tools can you offer them right now?
Well, proprietary software that allows us to do something that most people have never been told to do, because most people are not financially literate. I'm a national speaker. If people Google me, they'll see that I've been a keynote speaker at a number of different financial symposiums. And one of my favorite topics is not to pick on our current CPA, but is what your CPA doesn't know, what your financial planner doesn't want you to know. And this is where a lot of people go to get information, but unfortunately, the people they're getting information from isn't information. They're only being told what they're told in a classroom. And we all know that those who can't teach, those who can don't. And it's very fascinating. And I'll just give you one quick example. I'm willing to bet that almost everyone on this call has been told by their best friends, their parents, someone they trust, their CPA, their financial planner, their bank, or the following statement: it's good to have a mortgage because you get to write off the interest. You've heard that before, haven't you, Steve?
Yes, I have. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let me tell you how it really works. I'm just going to use the 32% tax bracket. When I go through it, you'll be able to plug in any tax bracket. If I'm talking to you, I'd say, Steve, I've heard that too before, but I have a question for you. How long would you play this game with me? You give me $100, I'm going to put it in my pocket, turn around and give you back $32.
Wow. Yeah, this is.
You wouldn't, would you?
No, I wouldn't do that.
And then I'm going to say, think about this. Every $100 in interest you give into a bank or a mortgage lender, are they giving you back $32? No, they're not. The only thing that happens is you do get to write $32 off the AGI line, the adjusted gross income line of your tax return, if your mortgage is less than $750,000. And when I ask people, how great is that? Some people are they look like turtles because they're putting their shoulders over their head as far as they can. Some people get a little upset with paying a financial planner or a CPA, and that's the information they're getting. And I think almost everyone realizes that what I just said is how there's no gray area, glass half full, glass half empty. That's how mortgage interest really works. And when people hear that, it just kind of freaks them out. So the one thing I can tell people is now, like you had a couple of other people alluded to, we all have a lot of downtime. There's a lot of really good information out there about everything that has to do with business. Don't just sit at home, be depressed, listen to all the doom and gloom people. Make yourself better, educate yourself, try and learn something new every day. And that's just gonna help you be better personally as well as at your job.
Now, everyone here that's on this panelist, I spoke to them beforehand, and they said that they would make themselves available for one-on-one. So panelists, if you have the opportunity to drop your contact information in the chat for our attendees, please do, so they can reach out to you about your areas of expertise. Also, everybody's contact information will be on the landing page for this event. I do want to point out, one of the things I'm learning is a lot of people have not been on video before. They have not been on Zoom calls. So for some of you panelists that are getting up and doing other things, we have literally seen completely up your nostrils and seen parts of your body that we don't want to see. So if you are planning on putting your face right up to the camera, do us the courtesy of turning off your camera. And if you have a dog, we all love dogs here. We're dog lovers. Tommy, if you could introduce your dog.
That's Big Leo.
That's Big Leo.
Yeah.
And you got a little one too, right?
The little one passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I know you were very close. So I want to bring the conversation over to Tammy Condi. and Tammy, I know you're out there in California and you really miss your networking event because you're passionate about it. What are you doing now to stay in touch with the people that enrich you, not only you personally, but your business?
Well, I'm definitely making more phone calls, but doing, I love Facebook Live, and I was someone that already did the Facebook Lives. So now as a realtor, I could go to a vacant house and do some Facebook Lives and talk to people. So I'm gonna work on doing a little bit more with not only clients, but other Rockstar members, because, you know, the face-to-face is awesome, but you know, like this is so much more fun to actually see people. For our office, we do them, but you know, they're early in the morning and people don't have their makeup on yet, and so they don't put the video on, but the video part of it really is what makes it nice to see people, even though we're not doing a whole lot. But you know, you can have your drinks and hey, cheers, and you know, you can just kind of show your dogs. Like say, my dogs are sleeping luckily, otherwise they might be barking if the door rings soon. But yeah, so definitely a whole new world out there, and we really have to figure out how to connect with people on our phones and computers.
Now, that's fantastic. Scott Rutter, are you still here in the room? Do I see you?
Of course you do, sir.
Hey, well, before I chat with you, Scott, I just want to let all our attendees know you can be interacting with what you have a big advantage. We can't do this as panelists. We can't jump in a video chat room. But if you go to the link that Sarah has provided you in the chat for the HIO link, you can go to the virtual lounge now and actually network just like you were at a physical networking event. It is really unique. No other person gets to experience that right now but you, so please take advantage of it. So Scott was going around prior to the shutdown, and up to a couple days ago, he was going to local restaurants and businesses and doing videos with him until his wife said, you can't do that anymore. What are you doing now? Are you still creating videos like that through Zoom, or do you plan on doing that? And how would you explain to our attendees how they can do that themselves?
Yeah, definitely. So again, most of the panelists here, all the panelists, it's all about always adding value. So I am going to start that next week. I plan on doing some, versus it being called a podcast, a Zoomcast, and basically just getting on there with, let's say, somebody like Joe. And then, you know, again, Joe, tell me where you're from. What do you do? You know, how is it that people that don't know you out there can help you? So I think there's a lot of benefit to that. I think right now is a great time to leverage one another's, you know, networks and connections if we feel comfortable with one another. So you can do that in several ways, through LinkedIn, through Facebook, and your platform, as you just said, the HIO app. I love it. You know, you can put your, you know, Snapchat account, your LinkedIn account, your Facebook account. You can one-off with people and do video. But, and then, you know, again, I wish I was wealthy like Mark Scher and Tommy Pisco down there in Florida, but I am doing a $25 giveaway over the course of the next 6 weeks. And, you know, I'm just giving that away for anybody that likes my page, shares the page, and comments on the page. So, and it's all, you know, local businesses here in the area that I'm supporting to help kind of get through this tough time. I wish I could do more than 25, but you can only give what you have, right, Stephen?
You can only give what you have, but you can also work to have more. And you know, people are leveraging things. You know, we had a conversation, Scott, Mark, and myself yesterday that you know is going to put a lot of revenue in our pockets over the next couple months. And it's stuff Scott and I have never done before that Mark taught us about, and we're very excited about that. Mark, you had something to add?
Yeah, it's based on what Scott just said. I thought this was brilliant. They're obviously restaurants are vying for your business via takeout. And there is a sushi restaurant in South Florida that if your order is more than 50, they bring you a roll of toilet paper. I thought that was awesome.
It's a great idea. I mean, I wrote today, I said, you know, these hotels that have low amount of people staying there now, they're pretty much empty. They should start selling toilet paper and toiletries at curbside, because they have plenty of toilet paper. They have almost all the toilet paper in the country right now. We're sitting in hotels. I want to introduce Andrea Proctor. She is from HIO. She'll tell you what her role is and a little bit about how to use that virtual lounge app. Andrea.
Hey everyone, nice to meet you. I am the VP of Partnerships over at HIO, and we love working with Rockstar Connect. They are so awesome and proactive. They are definitely giving you guys the first shot at virtual networking in every way possible. They want you to be able to help each other and just really have an open space for this community to grow, the Rockstar Connect community for all of you. So HIO is an app. I know that Sarah has dropped the link in the comments. But if you download it and you look for the 3 Martini lunch, or just Google or search, I guess it's not Google, Rockstar Connect inside of the calendar icon at the bottom of the screen, you'll find all Rockstar Connect events, including this one, and you'll be able to one-to-one video chat, share contact informations, DM each other, and just discover a whole lot more people on the app as well, so that you can continue these relationships that you're building and keep your businesses thriving.
Thank you, Andrea. We do have 6 events tonight, and we have events tomorrow and the day after that. Make sure you join in on them. Michael Eric is a very generous man. When he joined Rockstar Connect, he said, I really don't want to promote anything in my Rockstar Connect event. I don't want to sell anything in my event. I don't care if I have any leads generated from my event. I just want to offer something to the community that isn't me offering my services. I want to be a leader and give. Michael, how are you doing that right now without having your event?
It's just networking, just get, touch the heart before you touch the hand. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you well.
Yeah, just touch the heart before you touch the hand. Just reach out and just, it's not about the business. You know what I mean? It's about livelihood right now. It's about their family. It's about, it's about what's going on. I mean, I'm only 100 miles from where Aaron is, north. And, I was just talking to a guy just recently, we're building hospitals. We're getting hospitals being done. It was almost done by August. It's now being changed. All the workers are working double shifts because they're afraid that. So again, we all know what's going on. So, we're really, it reminds me of 9/11. It reminds me of 9/11. I hate to say it.
Yeah,
So,
it really does.
We got to get our mindset. Got to get your mind right. You know what I mean? So,
you're 100% right. And, I wrote the book, Mingle, The Art of Face-to-Face Networking in the Digital Era. And in that book, I talk about how you can use, the digital side, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Meetup and other platforms in order to serve your network, to be able to serve as many people as possible. And I run several community pages, and it's that feeling of 9/11. As a leader, many of you attendees and panelists are probably, having to have a delicate fine line. You have opinions that you want to share, but those opinions may be detrimental to the people that you serve. It may cause division instead of uniting. So everyone needs to unite one another. We talk about this a lot in Rockstar Connect, especially in our Rockstar Connect Academy, which all of our hosts participate in. In fact, I went down to Florida and I spoke with Tommy Episcopo, who is one of our favorite hosts around the country. And I said to him, how are you able to achieve what you achieve? And this is a guy who, through his event, had just sold a $30 million policy. And he said, well, I went through the academy, your Rockstar Connect Academy, and learned how to do that. Well, what we're going to do today is, if you're interested in looking at our Rockstar Connect Academy, you can put it in the chat and we'll make it available to you. We'll give you a 3-day pass so that you can look in the academy and learn how to connect and network just like the host in our program. Tommy, what are some of the things you learned as a host that you're now applying to your business all around?
All my years in business, it's been about get out there, grind. That's a big waste of time. I mean, you have to take it from an area of caring for these people and compassion, especially right now. My rule at any of my events is there is no selling allowed. You can make your connection here, but you have to sell somewhere else. I'm currently trying to find a way to track connections, like not sales, connections. How many people did we put you in front of that you wouldn't have met before? you know. And I think that that's really important, especially today. You know, if I've said this before, if you walk into a store and 3 people crowd you and say, "How can I help you? How can I help you?" You're not going to want any help. You're going to want to run out of there. Well, that's the same thing with our events. You have to just take it from a whole area of helping. How can I help you? What kind of referral would be good for you? What can I do to help your business? How can we help each other? That type of thing. And you'd be surprised at how many sales I've made from people who had what they did. Sat down, the next thing I know, I'm helping them, their family, their mother, their brother, their sister, you know, and that's how it happens. If you're going to do it any other way, you're probably going to be struggling, because that whole salesman type of thing, that's nobody wants to deal with that.
No. And it's sometimes we have to fight our nature because we're all really good salespeople.
Yes.
But realize that we're really more facilitators than
sure.
You don't have to make the sale. The client, if they need your services, they'll make the sale themselves. Now, Sean, I know that Tommy is one of your mentors. How have you applied what Tommy has taught you to your events and your networking events?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my event is somewhat new. We still have kind of a smaller size group of people, but Tommy has taught me that a lot of times the smaller groups can even be better than the bigger groups, because when you have a smaller group, you can really take the time to talk to every person that's there and find everything out about them. And, you know, I mean, that's always kind of the way that I felt about business anyways, is that it's really about service. Like you can't be successful if you're constantly thinking about yourself. You can't be successful if it's, what am I doing for me? How much money am I going to make? What is this going to do for me? You can only be successful if you think to yourself, how can I be of best service to my clients? What can I do to help them? What problem do they have that I can solve? So I really take those things that Tommy had, you know, mentioned as well to heart when applying it not only across my event, but really just across my business in general.
Very good. Thank you for that. Now, Ray. Ray comes from a service background. And tell me if I'm incorrect. You have a military background. And
that's right.
You've taken that to your business. You've been a leader. You brought other people into Rockstar Connect that felt that they could benefit from them. California, luckily, is not having the same issues that New York is having, not at that same level.
No.
California is the state that has the largest gross domestic product in the United States, which makes it one of the most successful economies in the entire world. And that's because of the citizens that live there. They're like, you know, they're like cowboys. It's the West, and where all the new ideas are. Ray, what can you share with our attendees about what they should be doing right now to help people in their sphere of influence, to keep them motivated?
So definitely keep in contact with them. Reach out to them by phone or text. It's actually pretty interesting to find out how many people that are business owners are single and are staying at home. So they're by themselves at home, and you won't know that unless you reach out to them. There's other folks that literally don't know what to do. So by involving them in creating videos, using Zoom, there's another tool out there where people can record their own screen and then present it, called Loom. Those are the kinds of things that I find people really need help with. They have, this is completely unique to us, no matter where we live. If you're shelter in place, what we call it in California, people just aren't going out, and they don't know how to keep in touch with their clientele. Just like you mentioned, folks have a hard time knowing how to network. They want to talk about themselves first, and maybe that's not the best way to move forward. Going over how to create a value proposition is one of the things I'm working on this week. I have a class tomorrow. What makes them unique from their compatriots? And then I specifically work with other realtors on just keeping up to date with what's happening in the market. And of course, homeowners can use that same type of information.
Excellent. Thank you, Ray. Joe, I want to bring you in, and so because everyone is getting a little sick of my voice and I need a little bit of a break. And Ray brought up an excellent point about relationship marketing. That's all that Joe does. That's his expertise. He's written 2 books on the subject. He's spoken on it hundreds of times. Joe, could you take a little bit of moderating and bring up some points? And I'd like to include in the conversation some people that haven't been able to speak, and that would be Richard and Sandra and Robert and Keith. We're going to get to everyone on the panel today. Also, Sarah, if you can dig up some questions that the attendees have that they would like to ask to the panelists, or any statements they want to make. Take it away, Joe.
Sure. Well, thank you, Stephen. And yeah, so I don't really want to be the one that's talking all that much. I'd rather hear what other folks have to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with Sandra Hollis, only because I believe we don't live too far from each other here in North Carolina. I'm in Hillsborough. Are you in Raleigh or Hillsborough? You have to unmute yourself. Hey.
Sorry about that. I'm in Raleigh.
Okay. So what are you doing right now, Sandra, to kind of keep your relationships going with your current clients, prospects that you had, you thought that you were really close to even just getting them to wanting to list their property with you? What are you doing to just keep those relationships going?
I think I'm in an unusual situation here because we're getting, I own a firm. I have some agents that work for me, and the listings are still coming in, and we're still staying in touch. We work with a lot of law enforcement and first responders, and we have a special program that we offer them. And so it's working. We're just chugging along. I wish I'm glad it's not negative.
Right. That's great.
But we really having great success.
So what I'm kind of hearing you say, though, one of the things, my friend Neil Isaacs, for anybody here who knows Neil Isaacs, he's a business broker. He says the riches are in the niches, and it sounds like that's where you are. You've found a niche around law enforcement, and so that's where you've built probably a pretty good business.
Yes.
Robert, were you you were one of the other folks that hasn't said much, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So what are you doing right now to kind of keep in touch with your prospects and your client base? How are you just, keeping things light, or are you getting in there deep with them? I'm just curious.
I'm just trying to stay connected on Facebook right now, just trying to communicate all the different SBA loans that are going on right now, and which ones they can apply for and which ones they probably shouldn't. I mean, it's debt versus a gift.
Yeah.
You can only apply for one or the other.
Right. Right. So, and how do we identify which of those would be better for us? Those of us, like, I'm a solopreneur. What do you feel be the better direction to go in if you need money?
If you're a solo person, you should probably go the disaster route.
Okay.
That's the one that's applied right through the SBA website.
Okay. How many folks online are solopreneurs? Just out of curiosity. Okay. So
Can you say the word Vasterbrout?
Say what word?
The name of the program, spell it.
Oh, can you say what it was again, Robert?
Oh, it's a disaster loan product. So it's just like the flood products that were offered during Harvey. It's a disaster loan for Cronova.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Just out of curiosity, has anybody here developed over this past couple of weeks, developed a relationship with somebody through, whether it's through online or picking up the phone. Has anybody developed a new relationship that you were quite surprised and impressed that it happened despite what's going on? And feel free to share about that.
Scott, haven't you made a lot of opportunities like that?
Yeah, I've definitely had some opportunities like that. And I think that, Joe, to that point, we have so much gold, right within us that sometimes we look beyond that. And that's one of the things I learned when I first started hosting my own Rockstar program is, here I am, I'm trying to help connect others and everything else. And it brings me so much internal satisfaction. But, for my role before insurance, my job was to meet realtors and mortgage lenders and everything. So here I am, I'm going out and I'm, every single Rockstar Connect event, meeting new realtors, meeting new lenders, but yet I knew so many to begin with, but I never took time to really deepen that relationship and really schedule that one-on-one or really get to, know them on the level that I needed to know them on. So yeah, there's significant value. I mean, all of us have those connections that we just need to reach out to, make a phone call, now's your time.
Right. Yeah, I had done what I had reached out to a bunch of people in my network, asking them what is the biggest challenge that they're dealing with right now. And repeatedly, the answer that I got was that they're struggling now with where they were networking in person. Now they don't know what to do. And they feel like this Zoom type of way of communicating is not personal enough for them. But but I disagree. I think that if we're still, like Stephen, giving so much to all of us, people like Scott who are always looking to give, if we have that mindset of giving, we're going to break that barrier of where we aren't standing 3 feet from each other. There's still that communication, who said it? Somebody said hand before, heart before hand. Can you raise your hand? Was that you, Michael, that said that? Your heart before hand. Yeah, that's a great, I really believe that. And that is how we can break across this whole virtual world that we're all in right now and still keep it real and keep it, where we're developing and building true relationships. Who was the gentleman? I don't think he may not be on anymore. That was talking about the cold calling earlier. Was that Keith? Or I can't remember who it was.
That was Aaron. He's not on right now.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
But what you're saying is just sort of brought something to me, and Andrew Pierce should probably comment on the social media part if we can get back to him. And I'm just going to interject and jump off. I think this is a great opportunity for people that used to hate networking, who are real introverted,
have
the opportunity to network at a distance. So maybe bring completely new people into our sphere of influence we never would have been able to reach before. What are your thoughts on that, Joe?
I think that that's a wonderful point, especially because now you can accidentally, jump off and on at will, especially if somebody's in the middle of talking that you don't want to hear. You can just kind of click out and say, "Oh, sorry, I lost my connection." But no, the truth is that you can. It is a great opportunity for folks who are a little more introverted. You don't have that same emotional suck out of your body that you feel. I'm saying that because I am an introvert and I had to teach myself how to network, and it took a long time. That's why I do a program called Networking for Introverts. But I do think that this whole social media landscape now does give an opportunity for folks to network and get in front of their target clients like they haven't before. I'd love to hear from Andrew, his thoughts on that. And then Richard, if you'd follow up and share with us a little bit about how things are different for you right now in comparison to how you were doing before, but we'll start with Andrew. Andrew Pierce.
What's up, Joe? Thanks.
Hey, man.
What I've discovered, and I actually really love. I hate the reason behind it, but I love where this is at right now. I can communicate with so many more people like this than I could if I was trying to drive through Wilmington traffic. We have
Right.
4 streets that go everywhere and they're all full. And then twice a day you've got school and people going to and from work. It's a nightmare. So this allows me to communicate freely and more rapidly with people that I might not be able to get a meeting with otherwise. Instead of being
Right.
stuck with the receptionist in the lobby, I can go straight to the CEO or get the team leader of that real estate team and not just their admin or their transaction coordinator.
You know what? I agree 100% with what you just said, Andrew. This helps us to go right past the gatekeeper and directly to the decision maker. Doesn't mean the decision maker will always connect with us, but it sure does make it gives us a much better opportunity than we have when somebody's sitting there telling us no.
You can accomplish what you would normally do in a 9 to 5 from about 8 to 11, and then you spend the rest of the day just reacting to people reaching out to you or answering emails. It's much
Think about how much money you're saving not buying coffee and lunch.
and filling up my 10-year-old
And-
Tahoe. Like
And
it's
gas,
amazing.
yeah.
And gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Richard, what are you doing these days that's a little different in how you're trying to market your business and connect with your prospects and clients?
Well, our situation is a little bit different. I started this firm back in 2015 as targeting doing tax work online because I thought that was kind of the future. And back then it was not readily accepted because people were used to gathering up all their documents and coming in and sitting down and, sort of like old school.
Right.
But over the years, especially as the demographic shifted and younger people were more acceptable of this sort of new style, it's become more accepted. And now this latest situation has just driven the point home to the point where, I've concocted this one ad that says virus-free tax preparation. So it's actually given us a lot of momentum.
All right, cool. All right, well, that's good to hear. It's good to hear. I always enjoy when I hear that somebody is actually, they were able to transition and pivot really strong, or in some cases, like Sandra, where there have been great opportunities have presented themselves. That's something I went on a webinar last week, and the question was, in a year from now, what opportunities will you look back at and say, I took this opportunity during that period of time? Can anybody share one opportunity that they have seen presented to themselves that they're now jumping on and feel in a year from now it will have been something that was successful for them? I'll share one is that I'm moving now from while I usually do all of my events live, I'm taking advantage of this opportunity that I have to create them for Zoom events now, and I've seen the response has been fantastic. So and I think that that's an opportunity in a year from now that I won't always have to do everything in person. Stephen, you had your hand raised. You have to unmute yourself, Stephen.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to work this thing. It's a lot of opportunity. We've always wanted, to have the ability to offer a less expensive product to our clients because, Rockstar Connect is a premium product. Our hosts invest a lot of time and a lot of money to bring these events to people all over the country. And with virtual, it allows us to have even more events and make them affordable. Also, it's made us take a look at our mailing list and really see who are the attendees that are going all over the country and what needs do they might have that we as a company are able to satisfy. And that's what's going to keep us, relevant and have the ability to be successful in the future. So we have some questions that have come up from the chat, and Sarah's going to ask. Sarah, can you give us one of the questions, and let's see if our panelists can handle them.
Does anybody have any job search advice?
Who here is the job search person? Put up your hand if you know about that. Gosh, you know why this is a hard question? Because everyone here, all these panelists, we're not the type of people that end up getting jobs. We create our opportunities. But Mark Scher has something that he would like to answer that.
There was
I'll go to you first, Maureen, and then I'll go to Mark. Go ahead.
There was an intern that posted on the chat and said she was looking for work.
Well, then if they are an intern, this would be the perfect place to get an internship.
I agree.
Because everyone here is growing and expanding their businesses now. So if you could put your information there, one of the panelists will contact you. Joe, did Mark have his hand up? Did he have something to say? Mark?
Yeah, I was on a webinar the other day, and they were specifically targeted at people seeking jobs. And there are a lot of companies that are hiring.
Yeah.
Like Amazon can't get enough people to work for them. Maybe slave labor conditions, but $17 an hour plus double for overtime. They need people. There's over 100,000 jobs out there just with Amazon.
Right.
All the big stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, they're all hiring. All the food, Fresh Market, Whole Foods is now, I think, owned by Amazon, if I'm not correct.
It is.
Kroger's, all those places are hiring. They need employees. It may not be the job you want, but it becomes. I'm always a believer that I'd rather work, even if it's something I don't like to do, just to work, than to sit at home and do nothing. That's just the way I was brought up.
Yeah, to piggyback on what Mark just said, well, after 9/11 happened, I sold real estate in Brooklyn Heights, which is downtown Brooklyn, right across the river from downtown Manhattan. So I can assure you that there was zero deals happening for me for a little while. So what I did was I transitioned and I painted apartments till the market came back. I did what I had to do, and sometimes we just have to do what we have to do when things get tough. Go ahead, Michael. You keep raising your hands. Go ahead.
Yeah, just so you know, I have an opportunity where people can make residual income from home. So I also do that too, part-time. So if anybody's looking to make some money from home, I mean, my business just exploded within the last 2 weeks. Home-based business and, opportunity for serious residual income. So I especially work with realtors. There's a good chance for them to make some good money. Anybody that owns a business, it's a legacy too. So it's not just a job. It's something that you can take, and even if you pass away, it can go to your children and all that. So I'm pretty big in that company too. So I'd love to just talk to anybody if they're interested.
Yeah. So people are asking you to put your information and share your information in the chat. So go ahead.
So someone has a question about what should a photographer do, and I think that would be an excellent question for Brody to answer.
Yeah, I know some people who are photographers, and if they're not already on social media, and I think that's not a given, because there are so many small business owners that I've reached out to who really, they have social media and they have a presence, but it's not as personable as it could be. I've reached out to some local businesses that I've had relationships with in the past through working with other radio stations, and offered just help, asking them, what do you need? What are you trying to do? Have you updated your business plan? And then to offer suggestions. And I've said this in a meeting before, and I'm willing to bet you that a lot of your kids use the social media platform, and you could take advantage of it too. I know it's, people are going to laugh, but TikTok. And right now it's an opportunity, I think, to build who you are as a person, because not only do people buy what you do, your service or your product, but people buy people. So.
Excellent advice. Joe.
Stephen.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I just wanted to share a nugget real quick. So number one, for anybody out there, I would recommend that you reach out to Deborah Mathias. I'll drop her contact information in the chat box here in a minute. And LinkedIn is where you're going to have the best opportunity to get a job. And they also offer premium service for free for 1 month. to where you'll be a standout to all the recruiters. But if you don't have a solid profile, it's not going to do you any good. So I have a really good friend of mine that's looking to get into the IT field, and he bought the premium service and was messaging people. Recruiters were looking at his profile, but not pinging him back. It's because his profile wasn't, up to speed. But once he got on Deborah's program, now he is getting those kind of responses that he was looking for.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. You were going to ask me a question, Stephen?
Yeah. So regarding, so what we're doing here as versus other events that are going on, a lot of events, they are panelist oriented 100%. And it's just a matter of people that are talking heads. They're trying to sell you something. This event is not oriented that way. We have a certain number of panelists, but our panelists are really just master networkers, and they're showing you how they're connecting with one another. I mean, we are right now sharing information to help our sphere of influence, which are all of you attendees that are here. So take advantage of it by dropping, of course, questions into the attendee chat box, but also this is a networking event. Go into the HIO app. Sarah's going to drop the link there and start connecting with people to grow your network. I assure you, and let me just ask you, Joe, the people that are participating in a networking event like this, that are now doing one-on-one chats in the virtual lounge, how do they look coming out of this crisis?
Well, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, although, that's for sure. But what I do believe is that, based on where we kind of left off a few weeks ago, how strong things were, I believe that a lot of us will recover, over a short period of time. Some of us won't. But I think that folks who come out when this is over, if you are networking now, really invest the time to develop. I think Ray may have said it earlier, Ray Fuentes may have mentioned it earlier about this is the time to really work on building relationships with people. Because those relationships in 2 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, will mean so much more than you realize that when you're investing the time that you're investing right now, it will pay off so strongly in a year from now. So that sometimes it feels like I need to get to that next sale. I need to get that next deal. Yes, you do, but you also need to focus on the person right in front of you and start working on that relationship, that long-term relationship. And, Stephen, you knew a little bit of my story. When I went through a very difficult divorce, it was some of the people in my business, in the business community, the relationships that I had that helped me to carry me across the line, the finish line. And I don't just mean emotionally, I mean financially. There were things that went on that were very difficult that I, at the time, could not handle on my own. And people stepped up and helped me out. That came from years of developing relationships. It wasn't people I had just met at a BNI event and said, hey, could you lend me a hand? It was people that I had known through business for 10, 15 years who said, hey, I want to help you out here. I see you're having a difficult spot. Let's make this work. So these relationships are so important that you invest in them, that you always have the mindset of listen first. Do not have that mindset of let me tell you all about me. I want to know, what can I do to help you, Stephen? What can I do to help you, Maureen? What can I do to help you, Tommy Episcopo? That's what you want to focus on.
100%. I feel like we really neglected Keith over here.
Okay, and Maureen keeps raising her hand. Let's hear from Keith, and then let's hear from Maureen. Keith, you have to unmute yourself, buddy.
I'll do it for him.
Sorry about that. No, I don't feel neglected at all. Actually, I feel kind of blessed listening to all this because it gives me so many more ideas that I could add to what I'm already doing as far as my networking going. And just to give you a quick peek behind the curtain as far as what I'm doing, it's really kind of an oxymoron when it gets down to it. I've been calling it one-on-one networking. And what I mean by doing that is I go out to our database on a weekly basis and I do a video and I present that video to them. And it's not about trying to sell them anything. It's about to find out how they're doing. Also to give them kind of an idea of what's going on in our marketplace and what's going on in our city. It's not just about real estate. A lot of people love coming to Charleston just because it's Charleston. It's been the #1 city for like 7 years in a row. It's embarrassing, but that's the truth. So, you know, people want to come here. So we give them updates and people that want to move here, you know, have had to put the brakes on because they physically can't come. So by putting these videos out and speaking with them, to them directly, what we do is we put at the bottom of our video a link to zoom.us if they don't have it already. And then we put in our private ID number so they can talk to us directly. And, you know, they actually will start communicating back to us. They'll set up times. Not everyone wants to be on camera, and that's okay. Some people, you know, don't want to put on the makeup or put on their pants, and that's fine. But what they're doing is they're now communicating back to us. And then we start a conversation of, you know, not how can we sell you a house? It's how can we help you where you are? And that's one of the reasons why I got involved with Rockstar to begin with, is that every single week I got asked, I can't tell you how many times, for referrals. I know a lot of people, the business community here has been great to me. And I was answering more phone calls, telling people, you know, who to call, why to call them, they do this, they do that. By having these events, it was bringing them all together and I could answer that. And again, I'm doing this way now virtually. And we used to do, and we had to stop obviously, we used to do our appreciation events. That's the easy word for them, but there were our superstar events where we had our past, current, and future clients all come to an event. So we rented out a movie theater or one of the screens, and they all come in for the event. We buy popcorn and soda, and they sit there, and they all know why they're there, but we're not selling them anything. They appreciate it, and you know, we'd always get referral. We'd always get business coming out of this. So now I'm working on the next plan, which is to do it virtually, where I've identified a couple of different things. And here's some ideas for thought. You know, you can, or some food for thought, where we can buy these, what do you call those? They're not credit cards, but the cards for different restaurants or different products and
Gift cards.
Gift cards. And we can share those virtually with everyone. And they can go out and they can get their popcorn, and they can go out and they can get whatever it happens to be that we're giving away, a coffee or whatever, and join us in a meeting where we're all talking about not the same thing, but the same concept of, here's Charleston, what's going on? And then we turn it back around because there's so many different people from so many different parts of the country, and we ask them to help everyone else that's there. So we have people from California, from Texas, from Arizona, from Massachusetts, New York, Ohio. And they're like, oh, well, do you know this person or do you know this company? And who would you recommend? And it becomes a snowballing effect. So that's how, you know, we're coming out of this. This is how we're putting what we have, the tools at our disposal right now, the virtual tools, to the best use that we know how. And I've been through this a couple times before. I know, you know, look, I'm only 35. I've been in real estate for 27 years now. No, that's not true. I've been in real estate for 20 years. But I've been through this before, and I know we're going to come out on the other side. And how we deal with this right now, and how we deal with the communication, the networking, and everything else, the new technologies and systems that come out of this, is going to define how we're going to all do business down the road.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be a new economy. And if you would imagine, just imagine the mess that we would have on our hands if this technology did not exist today. If this happened 20 years ago, and everyone had to leave their factories, their stores, their restaurants, and you couldn't talk to anyone.
Right. You're absolutely right about that, Keith. It's
What kind of economy would we have when this was over? It would be disastrous. So,
and thank God that's not what we're dealing with. Thank God that we have this opportunity where we're able to communicate with each other. We're able to actually see each other in the eyes, pick up the phone. We can do work from home unlike ever before.
and it's not just from home. You could be in your car on your phone. We are still able to show houses here. So, we're doing the virtual stuff.
Yeah.
And, that's all a benefit. That may stop, but, it's still something that we didn't have the ability to do just a few years ago. So, I'm embracing it, and I'm having my agents do the same thing. I mean, they're out and they're sending messages, videos that they make to their client base, to our client base. It's not selling a thing. It's, hey, I was thinking about you today. I just wanted to check in and see how everyone was doing. If you need something, let us know. We're here to help you. It's not that we're looking to sell you anything. That's not the message. We're truly trying to help you. Stay in touch.
Let's jump over to Maureen for a couple of minutes because I know Stephen wants to jump back on eventually and take back over. So let's jump over to Maureen. I want to hear from Maureen, and then I also would love to hear from Diane because I don't know if I've heard much from Diane today. So let's hear from Maureen first.
One of the things that you may not be aware of is that you can top out of your Zoom business meetings, and you need to set up Zoom webinar when you think you're going to hit that benchmark of 100 people. I offered a couple of free classes and we hit over 100 right away. We turned away another 200 or 300 people before we could get set up. So that's something you can do, and you can talk to me because I can give you a very specialized rate that will enable you to buy that product a lot cheaper than that's available regular price. And I also wanted to say that, Joe, you said you didn't have a crystal ball, but I do. And I'm being funny here to say that I can teach people how to know what the best decision is. And I have been using these tools for over 20 years and teaching people all over the world. And I would invite all of you to read my blog post about the future of this year, because it's so important to understand what we're up against and that we're being asked energetically by the universe to reflect, review, and reinvent ourselves. It's not just this event. Astrologically, that's what's happening as well. And when you know that, then it's not so stressful because you know, oh, well, that's what I am supposed to be doing. And you can swim upstream. You can work against the system like salmon when they're spawning. But you have to know what you're doing. If you don't know the bridge is out and you're standing or sitting in your car waiting for that bridge to open, and they're going to be working on it for another 2 weeks, you got a long wait. But with a GPS, and that's what I do, I give you the internal GPS, you can make a good decision that'll help you keep moving forward.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Hey, Diane. So question for you. So if you can unmute yourself. First of all, what is it that you do? I forget what it is that you did. I apologize.
Well, like one of you had mentioned, the niches is always a great thing. We have been popcorn removal, where we remove the popcorn from the ceilings. And we do the texture and the paint, but we have been licensed drywall contractors. We are now GCs doing kitchen and bath remodels. So we could do everything and anything. because we have all kinds of contractors at our fingertips for flooring, plumbing, electrics. We could get it all done.
What have you done to kind of pivot during this time? What are you doing as far as, reaching out to people, trying to keep your employees operational? Is there anything different that you're doing?
A lot of this, the Zoom calls
Right.
with different groups. And I'm an ambassador with the West Orange Chamber of Commerce. So we are together a lot and doing a lot of those as well. But Facebook, just, putting things on Facebook, like in my neighborhood or, other getting into the groups.
Okay. Yeah. And do you guys have Nextdoor out by you?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Nextdoor is a constant for us, but yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I just got a phone call from a Nextdoor lead.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I didn't know if that was just an East Coast thing or not.
Oh, no, we love it. That's great
Good.
for us.
Yeah, and LinkedIn could be a really wonderful program for you as well. Really getting deep into LinkedIn and connecting with other, developing relationships with those people that could be strong referral sources for you, or referral partners, because that's really
Right.
what you want to develop, are those referral partnerships. And if you'd ever want to learn more about developing a relationship marketing program, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to, I give everybody a 30-minute complimentary coaching session. So I'd be
Great.
thrilled to talk to you
Yeah.
about, how I train people on that.
Great. I look forward to that.
Cool.
Thank you. I am
Steve-
going to have to hop off here. Things are, like we are essential business still. So things are kind of
Yeah.
popping. So I got to pop out.
Well, I'm glad that I was able to catch you before you hopped out. And Stephen, are you ready to take back over?
Thank you guys.
sure.
Stay
Sure.
safe.
Bye, Diane.
I'd like to share some ideas with some of the attendees and with some of the panelists, and get some of the panelists' opinions. But now really is a great opportunity. Raise your hand, panelists that are pretty active on social media, just so I'm aware. Great. Who does lead generation through Facebook groups, community groups? This is an excellent opportunity. I've had Facebook groups since 2007, and I have over 150 Facebook groups that I manage either by myself or with the help of my team. And because I've earned trust in those groups and people know who I am actually going and I'm doing the ask now. So I am going and I'll make a post and say, who needs more information about real estate in our area right now? Because I have information that I can provide to you. And then they're reaching out to me for those one-on-ones. And today, for example, this morning I did a post like that and I generated 2 listings.
Wow.
They're going to be pretty easy listings to sell, and that's revenue I can make, right away. We all need revenue now. So raise your hand again if you're great in social media and for generating leads. Okay, Dominic and Andrew, let's go to Dominic first, and then I'll go to you, Andrew, and tell me some of the posts that you've made in your groups that have led to business or may potentially be leading to business. Dominic.
Yeah, so just recently, with everybody being so concerned about the COVID, I just posted simply, yes, I can still get you life insurance. And I generated 3 leads just from a simple Facebook post. And it's because people don't have the information, and they think that in this environment you can't get in my situation, life insurance, right? So and they know they need it, and just simply letting people know that you're there and you can still do business is something that is information that people just don't know about, right? So just like you, who needs information about real estate in the area, I post the same thing, and more people are online right now than ever before, because people can't leave their homes. That's their only social interaction. So be where people are at, be where your tribe is at. And also, I want to add this because this is a word that I heard Keith bring up, and is the first person I've been listening out for this word, is referrals. Know who the people you are that you want to work with are, and know where to find them, and know where your followers are. And if you do operate Facebook groups like Stephen does, your followers are right there, so you can just post into those groups, and those people want your contact. They've opted into your contact, your content. Communicate with them directly, and like you said, Stephen, make the ask.
You're entitled to it at this point. You've been giving for years, and now is the time to reap your rewards. Andrew, I'm going to get to you in just one second, because Andrew is a master at asking, probing questions in his community page in Wilmington, North Carolina, to generate business and interest in his business. But Keith Lucas, you can still do your movie parties. Netflix has launched a Netflix viewing party where you
Cool.
can invite all your friends to watch movies with you, the people in your sphere of influence, and they can comment and have a conversation and chat with one another during the movie, just like they're going to one of your events. So it's a free service, so check that out. It's a Netflix watch party. Yeah. One other thing, and before I get to Andrew, I've looked at some of the stats on my Facebook groups, and I am seeing as an admin of my group that when I'm posting in a group of, let's say, 5,000 people, 4,000 people are seeing that post. So Facebook is loosening up their algorithm so that the leaders are making these groups work. And my group that has 20,000 people in it, I had 12,000 people see my post. I haven't had reach like that on Facebook in years. Andrew, share some of the tricks of your trade. And keep in mind, Andrew and I, we look at each other's pages and we regularly steal from one another.
I have zero problem copying and pasting one of Steven's posts and changing it from Raleigh area to Wilmington. But just asking a question, a simple question that anybody generically in your area is going to have an answer about, and then give it 2, 3, 4, 6 hours and go back through your comments and answer each person or address them, or do more than just the little thumbs up or the heart. Actually add 4 or 5 words there. That right there puts you more top of mind than you used to be, so that when you do decide to ask, the question of, hey, are you curious about what all this is doing to real estate in our area? A, it pops up first in their feed, but also they've already feel like you're a friend. So by the time you ask that, they're like, oh, wow, that guy was here earlier. He helped me out. Let me respond to him. That's the easiest way to start a conversation right now, because everybody is looking at this thing.
Yes, and also it's excellent, Andrew. A great way to prime the pump to get people on your community pages used to making referrals is ask for referrals on your page and give referrals on your page. If you do that on a regular basis, 2 or 3, 4 posts a day like that, then the people on your page will start doing the same thing. And guess what? You're the first person you're approving the post. You're the first real estate agent or the first financial advisor that gets to reach out to those people to fulfill their services. You can say, hey, in a private message, I know you put it out to the page, but I just wanted to let you know I'm a financial advisor and I'd like to speak to you one-on-one to make sure that your question is answered appropriately. Now, we have some people in here that are unbelievable, salespeople, and for me, that's really giving you the highest compliment, because I love salespeople. I listen when people call me on the phone and they give me a script. These are things that you do to prepare to assist the people in your life. Mark Scher is about one of the best people that I've ever spoken to in person or on the phone in painting a picture. So we got the people through social media. We now have them on the phone. A lot of us are not used to talking on the phone. Mark, how do we paint a picture for the client or customer on the phone?
That's a really good question. To be honest with you, I haven't probably done that in 6, 7 years since GoToMeeting, and as of now, Zoom has been available. I try to avoid the phone as much as possible, and I'm just being honest with you. I was on a conversation with somebody yesterday. They go, well, we've been on the phone for 10 minutes and you haven't really answered my question. I go, well, I told you 2 things you didn't know. He goes, yeah, you're right. I said, so when can you schedule a time when we can join our computers? So instead of taking a half hour or more to explain it to you, I can show it to you in 5 minutes. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, Steve.
No, well, I mean, no, that's great. And you do that. And I think that probably because you're so skilled at what you do, you're not even aware. But with your words, whenever I have a conversation with you, you're always asking questions.
Well, that's something, right. I was always taught, answer a question with a question. That's sales 101. Before you go any further, I have a Jeopardy question for Keith. Keith, are you unmuted?
I'll unmute him.
Okay.
Okay, Keith, here's your Jeopardy question. How did the Civil War start?
Even I think you muted him.
That's probably a good idea. We're about to get into a north-south conflict again.
Yeah.
It started with one
Go
shot.
ahead.
Seriously, how did the Civil War start, Keith?
It started with one shot.
Okay, and where was that?
I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm from New England originally. And I've been
Okay.
to the South
Well,
for 10 years. I
I'm
really
just asking that because I could tell that you don't have that y'all drawl from the Low Country. Anyway, the Civil War started when Fort Sumter, which is in Charleston Harbor, was fired upon.
Yeah, that's true.
And-
There's a lot of history here, but if I have to turn on my southern when I have to talk that way, it's
I
just
know.
right there. It's a natural thing now.
But there's a second part to it, which is good where you live, which most people don't know, is that it was actually the cadets at the Citadel who fired on Fort Sumter.
The Citadel fired on Fort Sumter. That's
The cadets from the Citadel fired at Fort Sumter and started the Civil War. I was just curious.
yeah, that's
I'm a Jeopardy
awesome.
guy.
I'll put that in my repertoire when I'm
That
out.
was a final Jeopardy question a couple years ago. So I remember it.
Hey, listen, one of the things too, I mean, this is such a brain trust here, and I just posted this in the chat. There's a link that I put to it as well. I assembled a group of really top leaders in the real estate industry, and they all provide me with video, and this is exactly what we're talking about, to post up there. It's called the Real Estate Hack Factory. We're looking for other contributors. You guys are a brain trust. Anyone that puts together videos, you want to put them out there, get your message out. It's not a sales thing, and I'm not pitching anything. It's just to help real estate agents learn tips and tricks and hacks to grow their business and to leverage their time. So if anyone's interested, just hook up with me.
Well, video is absolutely great. And Keith, you dropped your information in. Who here also utilizes a lot of video in their business? Maureen?
Sorry.
Joe? Excellent. Tammy? Sean? Excellent. Okay, so Tammy, how are you utilizing video currently?
Well, first of all, doing video tours of houses, being in the real estate, that's the easiest way. And Facebook Lives or just taking videos or just going somewhere fun and doing a little video where sometimes I'm entertaining myself just as much as my clients. Just kind of got to keep yourself entertained by doing something. So it makes it kind of fun. And some things I want to do now is I have a green screen whole setup. So it'll just set up some different backgrounds and make it kind of fun to share with different people and talk about different subjects and what's going on with real estate and interest rates, and just to kind of keep people calm, because some people are super scared and thinking the bottom's falling out, and other people are super positive. And I'm actually seeing, kind of surprisingly, houses selling. They're off the market and they're selling and they're going for good prices, and just doing different videos of that so people can actually see real experiences of what's happening that's positive, and reassure people that everything's going to be back to normal eventually.
So you're not at the pool right now then?
And I wish I got my martini and
Maureen is not in her garden right now.
No, but it's kind of fun that you can just put all kinds of different backgrounds just by a click, and so it makes it kind of fun. You just got to make the best of it and enjoy more movies and talking to people about different things. And
you're absolutely right, and you're doing a great job. And video is very important. I want you to know you can reach out and ask other people in your network to make videos that'll help your clients, much like Keith does. I mean, Scott and I asked Mark yesterday to make a few videos for our clients, as well. Mark, you had your hand up. You wanted to add something?
Well, when you ask that question about the phone and everything, I think someone that I've learned a lot from in how to keep things simple, because I have a tendency to make things a little bit more complicated. I think you ought to ask Tommy that question, because I think he's one of the best people I heard about that. And I would bring him in and ask him that question.
Yeah, we'll have on the next, I think Tommy had to drop off, but we're definitely going to get a lot of pearls of wisdom from him over the next few months, because he is fantastic. Just to give you an example, I was speaking with Tommy. Tommy, at his event, he books after every event one-on-ones with people. And he has his one-on-ones booked out 6 months of appointments. And he handles all those appointments on his own, whether they be in person at his office or at a restaurant, or he does it on Zoom or a Hangout or something along those lines. And a lot of people are resistant to doing that because they say, well, that person is just going to try to sell me something that I don't need. Tommy recognizes that everyone could potentially need his services, and the cost of if the cost of helping those people is spending some time listening to what they do, that's going to enable him to establish what their needs are and offer his services to them, or to find out whether they're a potential referral partner. So I've been running my event for many years now. I've run consistently a networking event for over a decade at this point, every month. And a lot of people want to meet with me. And, physically, I can't have 4 lunches in a day. I just can't. There's only so many cups of coffee I can drink in a day. And not everyone necessarily am I going to be able to do business with, but I always make the opportunity for people to communicate with me. So one of the technologies that's very valuable is online appointments, like Google Calendar or Calendly, where you can leave a link on your page so that people can communicate with you. And you can pick what type of calls are available. Maybe they're a 15-minute call because they just want to pick your brain. So you want to limit those to 15 minutes. And then maybe you have longer calls for people that want a consultation to see if they want your services. And from that point, you can either connect them to the person, either you can do business with them or connect them with the people that they can do business with. Who is using Calendly or another calendar organizer right now? Andrew, what's been your experience and how are you using it? And then we'll go over to Ray.
It's awesome because it eliminates the back and forth of let me check my calendar and get back to you. People can choose when to book. And as you fill up your own calendar throughout the day, let's say you have a doctor's appointment that you forgot about, or you need to go take your dog to the vet, it automatically blocks that off. So it minimizes the amount of rescheduling over and over again. Plus, it automatically confirms with that person they did intend to choose that time so that they will be ready to talk to you. And it sends a reminder, I think 30 or 10 minutes early. So it almost guarantees that the call will happen.
That's very good, Ray. You have to unmute.
Yep. So I'm using Calendly. You can set it up for 10-minute calls or 30-minute calls, etc. I set it up for the 10-minute call. I use it as my initial introduction on why we should actually meet. So right now it's a little bit of a challenge because we can't go meet except online. But my first thing I do is I meet somebody and I say, I'd love to talk to you. Let's schedule a time. Please use my Calendly time manager. And as Andrew mentioned, they simply put in their phone number, that they pick the date and time because it uses my calendar, and boom, we get on the phone and call. And then next thing we can do is meet or set up a Zoom meeting.
10 minutes is a good time to set it for. Joe, you're going to be the last person that I'm going to take a question, allow to have the mic, and then we're going to do a little round robin of reintroducing ourselves because time flies. We're almost at 4 o'clock. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, so I'm using youcanbook.me, and that's the word you. So youcanbook.me, and then you put your name in the front. So mine is joenovara.youcanbook.me. And I found it super easy to set up. And I've never had an issue with anybody setting up a meeting with me. As a matter of fact, when I put it in the chat earlier, somebody's already scheduled a meeting with me tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. So it's pretty darn easy.
That's fantastic, and that could potentially be business for both of you. Real quick, we're just going to start with Brody. Just say your name and how people can find you, and then we're going to go all the way through the list, and then I have some words to share with you, and I have some asks for the participants. Go ahead, Brody.
Okay, so Brody Smith in Raleigh, North Carolina. I am an audio, video, live and recorded podcast host, producer, and consultant looking to work with individuals and small businesses. And I have video production background, live event background, as well as radio broadcast. And one of the things that I've been doing is sharing a lot of businesses that I follow on social media, sharing some of their content just as a fan and to help them as well, where there are local businesses here in the Triangle, or even reaching out to them and as a fan and saying, I love what you do. I love your service and product. Don't sleep on TikTok. Maybe it's not going to work for everybody, but the McFarland family, look them up. They're huge. They were just on Good Morning America. I don't know quite what they do yet for business, but now they're famous like that. And it's a father and two sons in particular. So
you know their name.
Brody,
Great. Go through a little bit more quickly. Just name, where you are, and how people can contact you, because we're coming up on that 4 o'clock hour. Go ahead, Joe.
For me, okay, yeah. So you can all connect with me on my website is joenovara.com. You can also call me if you'd like at 919-636-9546. I also put in the chat a link to the event that I'm doing next Tuesday and Thursday. It's a 2-day workshop called the LinkedIn Networking Success Course, and it'll be teaching you how to stop just collecting connections and how to start building relationships again. So thank you, Stephen, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ray.
So my name is Ray Fuentes. My email is ray@rayfuentes.com. And my phone number is 916-919-1377. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat box.
Thank you very much. And that's the perfect length. Robert.
Robert Newman with Texas Funding and Consulting. My website is www.funding4texas.com. And my email address is robert@funding4texas.com. And my phone number is 713-344-1199.
If you're a financial person, one of our panelists, please drop your information in the chat so people can ask you about these new emergency loans, debt, etc. Tammy Condi.
Hi, I'm in the Sacramento, Roseville, California region, realtor and loan officer as well. My phone number is 916-215-3377. I'd love to connect on Facebook. Tammy Condi. Thank you.
Maureen.
Maureen St. Germain. My website is maureenstgermain.com. And I want to echo Joe's comments about giving people the chance to connect, and to say on my high-end program, I actually make people pay a fee so they know that they're getting into something really big, just to apply to talk to me.
Excellent. Mark Scher. Unmute yourself. Okay, Mark, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, some of you may have noticed I was wearing blue. Now it's white. I spilled a bottle of water all over myself, so I just grabbed a quick t-shirt. Anyway, Mark Scher, teaching small businesses how to self-finance, individuals how to get out of debt, typically in 9 years or less, including their mortgage and student loans without spending any more than they're currently spending. You can reach me at 866-859-PLAN. That's 866-859-7526. Thank you.
Mr. Rudder.
Yeah, hi, Scott Rudder, independent insurance advisor, helping people with their home and auto insurance needs. And I can be reached on, it's J.Scott, SCOTT, Last name Rutter, and you can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn.
Sean Love.
Sean Love. Again, I do residential mortgage loans as well as debt elimination. You can reach me at my phone number, which is 305-801-5538. My website address is www.lovewealthfinancial.com. And you can also find me on Facebook under Sean R. Burnside Love.
Thank you. Keith.
Yeah, Keith Lucas, phone number 843-834-5000. Don't let that fool you. That's my actual cell phone number. Charleston, South Carolina. You have any questions, or if you want to be a contributor to the Facebook group, that would be awesome. Thanks so much for the invite today.
Thank you. Richard. I think you're muted. Let me see if I can help you there.
I
Go
got
ahead.
it. I got it. I'm Richard Watts. Our firm is 1776taxprep.com. You can just go to that website, get all the information. We are tax advisors. And my email is richard@1776taxprep.com.
Very good. Michael Eric.
Thank you for putting this call together. It's just amazing how, technology, if we were stuck in a room 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, Zoom, nobody really used Zoom. And now Zoom is like, so it's just amazing. So, and then everybody's putting in time into it, and, and it's hard. You got the dog, you got this, you got that. So I just appreciate everybody being here and networking, and that's what it's all about. My information is down in the box. Thank you. Upstate New York.
Excellent. Thank you. Andrew Pierce.
Andrew Pierce, the gourmet agent from Wilmington, North Carolina, on Facebook at This Realtor Can Cook, on YouTube and Instagram as Gourmet Agent.
Dominic, I'm going to give you half of this 1 minute here. It's all yours.
Okay, I'm Dominic Battistella. I'm financial advisor with New York Life, and I can help answer any questions that people have about the CARE Act, which has the emergency funding and loans through the SBA, as well as information about the stimulus checks that are coming out. I can also help people with adding to their life insurance program and information about what kind of investment allocations that they should be in given the market. I am licensed across the US, so feel free to call me from anywhere. My information is, as of now, in the box. You can also reach me on LinkedIn or Facebook. It's Dominic Battistella with New York Life.
Thank you very much. I'm going to take the last minute here. I'm Stephen David Elliott, the founder of Rockstar Connect. I want to thank Sarah Clark Elliott, who's been facilitating all the technology today and running the chat room, and Kim Patchen, who has been in our virtual lounge. For those attendees that have been watching, I would love for you to go to our LinkedIn page and connect there so that we can keep on getting information to you. You have the link to the HIO app. You can share that link with people in your network. Please put that on your Facebook page. You have the opportunity to go and continue in the lounge. How much longer do they have in the lounge?
1 more hour.
You have 1 more hour in the virtual lounge. Many of the panelists are going to join you in the virtual lounge, so you can do one-on-one video chats with them and share your information directly. It's 4 o'clock. Thank you all for coming, and we're going to see you again next week. And tonight we have 6 events. Please go on Eventbrite and look for Rockstar Connect virtual events, and we can all participate together. Do you have something to add, Sarah?
I do. So for everybody watching this after the fact, the contact information for all of our panelists will be available on the landing page for this event, which is www.rockstarconnect.com/3-martini-lunch. So you can contact any of our panelists there.
Okay. Also, if you're just getting into virtual networking and digital networking, we have a product where we can project you all over the United States to potential clients, and also to grow your sphere of influence. If you would like to know more about that, just go to our website and you can book a conversation with one of our success coaches, or you can just go right here in the chat and Sarah will make sure that the appropriate coach reaches out to you. Thank you all for participating today, and stay tuned for the next event next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Nice meeting everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a great week.
I'll connect with you, Tammy. I saw your connection request.
Okay.
All right, bye all.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.